What's up, everybody, and welcome to my TNA Impact Wrestling review. And man, I gotta say, it feels good saying TNA again. Because before, I've been calling it Impact Wrestling this whole time for several years now. And I had to stop calling it TNA. Because when they stopped calling themselves TNA, I had to go along with it. Yeah, I still called them TNA, but I got used to calling it Impact Wrestling in for a very long time. And I get why they had to get rid of the name TNA. But now, since TNA is back, it does feel different watching this show because it's a new time, it's a new era, and there's a lot of changes going on right now. Obviously, the first change we saw was last Saturday at Hard to Kill, which go check out that review right now with me, myself, and Black Shaggy as we talked about that whole show. But now we are here, I guess I should say the rebrand, reboot, whatever you want to call it. But TNA is back. So, yes, this is now the TNA Impact Wrestling review again. Not just Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling is dead. TNA is back. So let's get right into it. We do kick off the show though. Obviously, highlights from Hard to Kill. We get ready for the first match. Obviously, they're still at Las Vegas, Nevada at the Palms Casino. Full house, I should say, during these tapings. So that's good to see. In a big crowd, like I said for last Saturday, it's kind of crazy now that they got a big crowd again. Like I've been saying this, like they need a bigger crowd, and I'm glad to see this for this pay per view. I don't know what things will look like in the future, but this is a very good start. But we do kick it off with I guess a scramble match for a shot at the X Division title. Jay Chung, they have a new ring announcer now. Didn't say that last Saturday, but Dave Penzer is gone, so we got a new one. We did kick it off, like I said, the scramble. Kushida, Trey Miguel, Laredo Kid, Mike Bailey, El Hijo de Vikingo, and Jake something to see who's going to get a shot. I'm not going to try to go through this whole thing. Obviously, it was, like I said, it's an X Division scramble, so it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. That Vikingo, man, I got to say, that dude is just all over the place. Whatever that movie did with Jake something, just, I don't know, just spinning around and landing into like a power bomb by Jake something. That's wild. Okay, it was a lot of wild stuff in this match. So I'm not gonna go through everything. Obviously, Jake something was the big man in this whole match. As everybody, I know they talk about no limits when it comes to the X division and whatnot. But you can say it's a lot of cruiserweights out there within this match. But this was crazy though. Okay, there was a lot of crazy stuff in it, but it ended up with Jake something hitting the black hole slam or the void onto Laredo Kid for the win. So I'm sure he's going to be getting an X Division title shot soon. Obviously, I believe they are pushing Jake something, given his win last Saturday, Hard to Kill, and his win tonight. I see something happening for him within the future. So definitely watch out for Jake something. Um, Also, they had a promo from Ash by Elegance or Dana Brooke, which basically it was a narrator talking about her and saying how great Ash looks. Almost like it was like an ad or like a perfume commercial or something like that going on. But I'm still not sure with this whole Ash by Elegance thing and Dana Brooke. Like I said, I get people got to reinvent themselves, but come on, you heard what we said in that review last Saturday about Dana Brooke, but I don't know where it's gonna go. All I can say is time will tell. Um, right after that, they end up talking to Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw won the Ultimate X match. Basically, we'll get a title shot at Jordan Grace. Gail Kim came to congratulate Shaw, saying you didn't have to cheat to win. Shaw looked at Gail Kim, and Shaw walked off after that, which, Gail Kim was a little bit confused. So we'll see where that goes. But not a bad segment there. Tasha Steelz went against Zia Brookside. Zia Brookside is new here. I knew she was in NXT UK. I don't have a lot to say about this match. I kind of figured she was just going to get the win right here, but a good match, just a good match right there, I should say, with her and Tasha Steelz. Tasha, I thought everybody would have bet it to somebody else than having Steelz lose, right? Because, like, didn't Tasha just come back not that long ago? I feel like Tasha Steelz just kind of appears and disappears all the time. So, I thought they probably would at least, had Zia Brookside here beats just, I don't know, maybe like a jobber or somebody just to get a decisive win. Didn't think she'd be going over Tasha like that. But like I said, a good match there. Basically, I should say maybe debut. Well, she had a debut Saturday, but just a good match in there, given she is new to TNA. Also, they played the video from, yeah, I guess you know what, AJ Francis, Joe Hendry, and DJ Woo Kid. Joe Hendry was kind of promo on AJ Francis. I guess he's going to come back after him and had that laptop, which DJ Woo Kid was sitting in a trash can, and Joe Hendry left the laptop right there. So I'm sure he's going to be coming after Francis soon. The Grizzly Young Veterans came out. I don't know why we haven't had a Zach Gibson promo yet. I'm sure people want to hear soon to be. Was working for him in NXT and in the UK. So hopefully that comes back soon. But they went against Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. A very good tag match with the Grizzly Young Veterans getting a win. Obviously, they're going to be going after the tag titles. So we're going to see what happens from there. But, one thing to talk about what happened after this match, too, was Kazarian. Like he was disappointed in Eric Young trying to help him up. But then ended up beating up Eric Young, then betraying him. And as fans called him an asshole. Kazarian said, "This is my time," and that Eric Young's a son of a bitch. Basically him with the fade to black after that, as fans chanting, "You suck," and "Fuck you, Frankie." By the way, it was insensitive, so I'm probably even got a "fuck you" chant on Access TV in general, but the fans were pissed off with Kazarian and betraying Young. We'll see where this goes. That is interesting to see Kazarian just turn heel on Eric Young like that, so don't know what's going to happen, but very interesting to see, but definitely enjoyed the tag match there, especially with the Grizzly Young Veterans getting some wins over some TNA originals. Moose and his new crew now, the System, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and Alicia Edwards, I guess we're going around Vegas at a restaurant, and that the System works. Moose is the new TNA World Champion. He's a 5-star athlete. He's no longer, Mr. TNA or Wrestling God or, let's say a 5-star athlete, but he's the TNA World Champion now, and you must always trust the System. So I'm not sure where this whole thing is going to go with Moose and this whole group with the System now. I'm honestly not sure, especially with, Brian Myers and even Eddie Edwards to an extent there too. So I'm not really sure what to think about this whole group. I think I said that in the Hard to Kill review also. Nick Nemeth came out, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Fans chanted Nick, and he says it's going to take some time getting used to that, because we used to call him Dolph. But Nick said that Hard to Kill was a hell of a moment. It was a hell of a night. He got a TNA chant. He's been doing this over 19 years and a lot of other stuff. His fans chanting, "You still got it," but he says, "I never lost it." And he's done a lot. It's kind of quite intimidating. He's nervous right now because he's never been gone anywhere else, really, other than the WWE. And he talked about, standing face to face with the TNA World Champion, and he will get that title, but he's not just gonna put his way to the top. He's gonna, he respects everybody too much just to put him in the head of the line right now. All right, he says he's gonna get that title, but he's not gonna do it yet. But he says like it's first day, it's first day all over again, and he's gonna get back to the top because right now he's never done anything under the name Nick Nemeth. So that's going to take some time getting used to. Steve Macklin came out there and saying, I agree with everything you said because we both went through some rough times in our careers. We both got let go, from that other company, WWE. Macklin talked about how he was left, he left, got released 3 years ago and joined TNA and whatnot. And he went from the bottom and he got all the way to the top to become a world champion here in TNA and stuff. And he did gotta give it to Steve Macklin. He really did reinvent himself. To being some job dude in that Forgotten Sons faction NXT that went nowhere, and he really did. He's one of those guys that really did reinvent himself. And Macklin, said the only difference between me and you is that you're a phony, as he called Nemeth. And you got your time to talk. This is my time. You're a phony. You're just here to suck the blood out of TNA. And this is my sandbox, my base of operations, because, no one's going to remember Nick Nemeth. They're only going to ask what happened to Dolph Ziggler. Macklin tried to brawl with him, but Nemeth hit the zigzag on him, which I don't know what they're going to call that move now, but, Ziggler hit the zigzag, and basically just stood over him. So a good promo from Nemeth and Macklin here. I'm sure it's going to be Nemeth's first feud with Steve Macklin, so we'll see where that's going to go. Jordan Grace was interviewed, talked about she was a 3-time Knockouts champion, and she beat the undefeated Trinity. Trinity walked up saying she wants her rematch for next week for the Knockouts title, so you better get ready for that. I think we all know that Trinity is mostly going to be on her way out the door. Some just think she's just doing this rematch clause, and I think she's going to be gone after this. So I think we all know where she's going to be going back to. I think the writing is on the wall, so it's probably the last few times you're going to see Trinity in TNA TNA right now. But like I said in the Hard to Kill review, I enjoyed the time here. I got to be there during her debut and whatnot, so I got to see it live. So it was still cool to see. But I think we already know where that's gonna go. Jai Vidal came out as commentary. Wonder like Jai's not scheduled to have a match. Yo, Jai Vidal talked about how he broke out in Las Vegas and got a few chants, but then PCO came out basically doing his Frankenstein thing with the doctors and beating Jai Vidal in a squash match here. So we'll see what happens where PCO is gonna go. The Motor City Machine Guns were in the back talking about their big tag match next week against the System, and they're gonna be teaming with Okada. Um, they talk about they know Okada since 2006, and how he went on to become the Rainmaker now, and Okada says next week he returns to TNA, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Okada being back in the TNA ring, because we saw how bad many years ago that ended the partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling. TNA was when they had Okada look like the damn Green Hornet out there with Samoa Joe at the time. I remember how bad it was, and it was Okado. And that was pre-Rainmaker before he came back to New Japan. But yeah, it's crazy. And back at TNA, we can blame Vince Russo for that. I'm sure everybody knows that Okada is done with New Japan now. I know he's got a few dates left, but I'm not gonna go into that whole thing, given that's literally news that just happened. Which the only thing I could say is that I am surprised that Okada. Well, I heard his contract say he's gonna be a free agent soon, but a lot of people leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. I will say that. So I don't know where Okada is gonna go. It could be WWE, it could be AEW, it could be TNA. I don't know who will get Okada right now, but that's crazy. New Japan losing a Golden Boy. That's interesting news. But gonna be excited to see him next week in the TNA ring though. In the main event, we got the rematch. Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay 2. Definitely enjoyed the hell out of this match. I got to be there live for the first one. I know it wasn't played on TV till like a few weeks later and whatnot, but it was a hell of a match when I saw it the first time. Would I say it was better than the first one? In a way, yes, but still enjoyable in general. Crowd was definitely loud for this. I really did like this match. I will say in regards to Access TV, it looks like the audio is a little bit better. I don't know, but I'm seeing a lot of production changes. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows a little bit better than me, but hopefully those production changes are coming into play now. I noticed the new graphics and how they transition and things that are really good too, but it does look better than what we've usually seen in Impact when it comes to production and stuff. But I would still like to see some live episodes of TNA and being taped all the time. Maybe that'll come soon. I don't know. But this match, like I said, was the main event. I definitely enjoyed it. Josh ended up getting the win with the C4 Spike. I figured Josh was going to win, given that Will Ospreay had the last win back in Chicago. But right after that, Scott D'Amore came out as fans chanted, "Holy shit," as he talked about how he's loved, this business for a long time and how he stayed in it for over 30 plus years, and how, TNA how he talked about how he started in WCW in Canada until landing in TNA with Jeff Jarrett. He talked about how TNA was at its lowest point in 2017, because remember Bruce Pritchard said that TNA was dead, okay? And but now TNA is back, and he talked about how guys like Will Ospreay and Josh talk about they reached into TNA's chest and pump that fucking heart again, as he said. Blood is flowing out. It was TNA chants, and talk about how people came up on TNA and how they're back now, and that the entire locker room is motivated. They got something to fight for, and he's happy Hard to Kill was successful, and that TNA is back. And talk about we got to see two of the best in the world have the match of their life, and he said that TNA is back, and it's never going away again. As the Cross the Line music played after that with the TNA graphic ending off the show. Hell of a promo from Scott D'Amore. Sometimes I feel like he's on TV too much, and I talked about him in the past, but I really did enjoy his promo, and I do believe it could be a change around. And I talked about a lot of this in the Hard to Kill review, and there's still some things to be questionable and skeptical about, especially with TNA. We called out the positives and the negatives and whatnot, and I want to see TNA go back what they once were, okay? TNA was really big at one point, like someone say, till Hogan came in and things went down after that. But in the past few years, they have been able to turn around. People have liked the show. People enjoy what's going on out there. A lot of stuff makes sense. I've heard even people tell me that it's even better booked than AEW. It's just the money all the time when it comes to TNA. I would love to see them on a better network, okay, than Access TV. Because I have people that ask me, what is Access TV? What channel is it on? I liked it when it was on Spike TV. Some people didn't know TNA was still around in that. But they've been making a lot of rumblings. They've been making a lot of noise lately. So even in the past few years, but this is probably the most noise they've gotten in a long time that people are paying attention to. So, like I said, I enjoyed this first episode of them coming back. And I hope to see more great episodes in the future. But this is only the start in this new reboot, reboot of TNA. So there's a lot of things to still change and whatnot. And I get you have to embrace the past, but you got to focus on the strengths and try to stay away from the weaknesses. Don't go back to too much of the old ways that put you in the bad spots that y'all were in to begin with, okay? This is a good start tonight. It really is. But don't go back to a lot of the garbage stuff you went back though too. Because I said a lot of this last Sunday in the Hard to Kill review about the positives and the negatives and how they need to stick more into the positives, all right? Don't just come back TNA and just do all the old stuff, all right? Do new stuff. Don't just go back to the past. You got to do new stuff. And like I said, y'all been on a really good momentum for a long time now. So we're going to see what happens. But like I said, time will tell. But I definitely enjoyed this episode of TNA Impact Wrestling tonight. So comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And yeah, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all then. Peace out.